All right. Hello, everyone. I think this is working. Can we get all set up here? Oh, looks like on Instagram, it's not letting me do it for whatever reason. So anyway, all right, never mind that. It's been a while since I've done this circle of light meditation, and I've missed everyone here. Those of you who are in here live and those of you who watch this later. What I wanted to share this evening was a little bit about my experiences and work, I guess, after I went to Arizona learning life between life regression. It's just hard to kind of put into words how powerful this work is doing this. Sorry, I'm gonna, okay. Doing this sort of spirit connection with our higher selves. And in this time, of really intense energy, there's all kinds of, there's Mercury in retrograde right now. There's like a solar eclipses happening, or there's new moon. I think there was a new moon at least a few days ago. And with all this energy, I just wrote an email about this the other day. Some of you may have seen that. With all this energy comes a discomfort. It doesn't feel always good that when we expand in our souls, when we're moving into higher states of consciousness, into our true selves. I just was talking with a client today about this, that we're used to being a certain way, of certain patterns, of certain thoughts, certain just behaviors. And when we're realizing that those patterns and thoughts or behaviors don't work for us anymore, they're not working for us anymore, that can leave us with this sense of confusion. Well, what do I do to replace those? And that can really trigger our wounded inner child, any part of our inner child, it's trying to keep us safe, that part of us that has come up with ways to cope. And just real quick little tip for those of you who are curious: co-create how you want to feel, how you want to be, create your ideal future self. And I share a lot more about this in my book, Tools for the Awakening Soul. As many of you have it, probably, if you're here. And hi, everyone who just joined here on Zoom. And also probably some people on Facebook who I can't see because it doesn't let me see on Facebook. Anyway, and I think that's all the places I'm in, eventually on YouTube and Instagram, but okay. Oh, hi, I see you, Denise. So, with all these energies, with this sort of confusion, and around us, we're seeing the 3D world crumble. There's a lot of talk about financial collapse and, and just economical collapse. And I'm not going to say that I don't believe that, some of those things are maybe they are happening. They don't need to affect us in a negative way. All these things are these sort of collapses. If we think about the fact that we have so many divine guides with us, angels, multidimensional beings, our own soul, higher selves, guiding us forward, those loving sources, all connected to the source of all that is. We're not going to be allowed to just fall apart as a society. It's just not going to happen. These old structures that are, I've been in power for many, many years, that are not healthy. They're not serving us. Anybody, any sort of old control system, any sort of system you can imagine, we're starting to see that crumble, and it needs to. So, but in the meantime, how do we cope with that? Because it can leave us to be kind of, this is the way I've been talking about it to people, like paralysis, like just like zoned out zombies. Like, what do I do? What's happening? And for me, what I've found to be incredibly helpful is to, and I say this all the time, rise above, come into a higher perspective of why something's happening and what in your life and in the collective. So, and the best way that I know of to do that is to go, intuitively connecting with your higher self. Of course, I am go into the Akashic Records a lot, and there's some of you here who are in the Akashic Records class I'm teaching now. If you aren't in the class, you can still learn to read your own Akashic Records. Such a valuable way to get soul guidance and information and tap into your past lives. There's many ways to do that. I teach a little bit about that in my book. But at any rate, just developing our third eye, and even if you feel like, oh, I'm not quite there yet, accessing all this spirit guidance that's there for me, we can it can get a little rusty. We have to like dust off our third eye and crown chakra, and it's also the heart, right? All these ways that we connect intuitively. But there's a lot of books out there that explain things, how things work. Dolores Cannon wrote a bunch of good ones. There's a great book called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. And there's so many out there that kind of talk about how the spirit world works and how that's our real home, right? This earth is the school. This is a very hard school that we choose to incarnate in. When our souls choose to be here, it's a hard place. It's a very difficult place to have a lifetime. It's a play, right? We're actors in a play. It's kind of like a romantic comedy, dark comedy tragedy sort of like play. It's hard, it's difficult. So when you make it through here, when you learn the lessons that you set out to learn in this life, when you fulfilled your soul contract, you really expand, and you're getting closer to that state of self-actualization, of moving beyond the need to reincarnate. So when we have an opportunity to tap into that realm and to like, what is going on? Why is this happening? We don't understand. Getting some clues, getting some hints, of course, in the readings I do for people, I help them access that, but helping, taking somebody into a space where they can access that information themselves is so much more powerful. So I'm starting to do life between life regressions for people. And some of you, who are on my email list, I sent out a 50% off deal for a few people in my training, and those are all taken up now. But if you're really interested, I'm still doing a few other sort of discounts. So, reach out and let me know. I haven't actually started publicizing these yet because I haven't just decided how I want to talk about my way of, doing the life between life regressions. And I'm still doing some practice sessions anyway. But so what even if you don't get a life between life regression, even if you don't learn how to read your Akashic Records, you can still rise above and try to connect with whatever soul guidance there is for you. Just going outside, grounding into the energy of the earth, connecting with light, like a pillar of light. This is how I go in the records, and how a lot of times, we can access that our higher selves, just a pillar of light flowing through your body, up and down, that brings us into this higher vibrational state. And then that higher vibrational state that we're in is one that matches the vibration of the spirit realm, so we can more easily access the information that's there for us. Because this is all part of the awakening, right? This is all part of us. This has been a long, drawn out, massive, rapid, jolted awake sort of few years, for the past 3 years. And right now there's still a lot of stages of awakening that people go through in, denial, like the stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. So there's still a lot of denial in the mass collective right now, seeing things that we don't necessarily want to see. We want to close our eyes. Give me the blue pill, please. I don't want the red pill. But it's going to keep coming back more and more and more. Just things are coming up. We're starting to see the truth behind all the illusions and the deceits. And what we've been told is, our reality and the nature of our reality. And it's very sad that we can't trust those we thought we could trust in government and media and all that stuff. But ultimately, none of that stuff matters, because the truth is within our hearts and within our true home in the spirit realm. So that it brings me such a sense of comfort, and my way of coping these days is I look at the news headlines, I see what's going on, I keep abreast of that stuff, but I don't spend too much time. And if I notice I'm getting triggered, anger and fear, then I just say, okay, it's not for my highest good to look at this, because that's what it's designed to do, right? Is to activate those emotions of anger or fear, which are low vibration emotions, and keep us in a lower vibrational state, which is not for our highest good, right? So um, just I think I feel like I repeat myself over and over, but I guess we need to be reminded, right? Because we forget. Taking time to just ask, who is here for me? Is it a spirit guide? Is it an angel? Maybe it's an ascended master like Jesus or Yogananda or Buddha or Mary Magdalene or something. Maybe it's a spirit animal. Maybe it's an ancestor. Just feeling light. It's through light that we connect. Asking, describing what you're struggling with, and just noticing what comes up. Maybe it's a bird that flies right by you, and that's an answer from spirit. Maybe it comes in your dreams. Maybe you see a car drive by you later that day, and there's a license plate, and it just speaks to you. It's like a word that speaks to you. There's so many ways that spirit communicates with us. I was just saying this to a client today or yesterday, can't even remember. It's spirit speaks through other people so much. Somebody says something, and you're like, oh, that's actually really helpful. Well, was that the answer to your question? Probably, it may have been. So that's how we can, we see we're always being looked out for. We've got so much support, so much guidance, and that can really help us when we're struggling with feeling alone and confused and not understood. And we have this wonderful support team above, that we can call upon anytime, that are above, around us, I should say. It's said that the spirit world exists 3 feet above our world. So that's how we move into 5D consciousness. That's how we move into, unconditional love and acceptance of ourselves, and then for others. And that's how we can feel, and again, let me just say this, anything, and this is my belief, right? But I firmly, very strong believer of this, anything, and I mean anything that causes fear is not for our highest good to spend time in. Even if it's things like, oh, this is, maybe there's a financial collapse happening and I got to, get all my stuff ready, and okay, go ahead and do that. But if it's causing you to live in a state of fear, then it's not for your highest good. And it's not, I ultimately think it's not how things are going to roll out. So, just coming back to the heart, coming back to the fact that this is just a temporary thing we're all going through. And we have our parts of our souls stay in the spirit world. We actually incarnate with a certain percentage of our energy. Like we might bring 70% of our energy. These are things I was learning last week in Arizona. We might bring in 70% of our energy into our current life and leave 30% up in the spirit realm. Or we might bring less than that. And maybe we only bring 50 or 40% of our energy. And that's where we're kind of struggling because we wish we had brought more. But we always have a portion of our souls that stay in the spirit realm, our higher selves. That's what we can connect with, a wiser, true part of us that has an immortal soul name. So there's so much more I could share, which I picked up on all that stuff in my life between life regression. But anyway, so this evening I'm doing something a little maybe radical that some people that do regress, some other hypnotherapists might say, no, you can't do that. But I like to break rules, as many of you know. I'm going to try to see if I can guide us into connecting with our soul group in the spirit realm. And our soul group is simply people that we've had many lifetimes with. They're going to be no surprise to you because it's people that you already know, right? Your could be family members, could be your partner. It could be very likely, it could be your children, it could be siblings, maybe not all of them, but they're people that you've had many incarnations with, and they're not always, they can challenge us, right? So they could be people that really challenge us, but they've agreed to play that role to help us learn. So we're gonna, when I connected with my soul group, what I saw I saw them as lights and in different colors. And so some of you may actually, that's because these are, suits, right? These are our temporary bodies. We don't look like this in the spirit world. Although if your deceased loved ones show up to you, they will show themselves to you as you knew them, often around the age of 35, in case you're wondering, in my belief, at least, and what I've seen. But we could take on, we don't look like this necessarily in the spirit world. So when we do this, for probably, I will say most of you may not feel like you're picking up on a lot, because this is normally something that it takes like an hour of induction and regression into a state of hypnosis to actually be able to go there. So I'm going to try to do this in like 5 or 10 minutes, which is really not so totally possible, but you know what? We're going to see what happens. So just do the best you can, I would say have the approach of, well, this is an interesting experience. I'm just going to roll with it and, be curious about I wonder what could come up here. Um, so be aware that if there's people who are really, right now, probably people who've had major roles in your life, could be really close friend, could be, like I said, these family members, that they are probably in your soul group. So you might identify them through their energy or through their light. You just may know who they are. So, all right, let's begin. Okay. Close your eyes and take a few deep inhales. And slowly exhaling out. Another deep inhale. Release anything you can let go of from the day. Last one, hold this breath in. Slowly exhale out. As you begin to breathe, just feel the air cycling through. And with every breath in and every breath out, just imagine that you're sinking more deeply into your body. Giving yourself permission in this moment to just unwind, to just relax. Tracing the flow of breath in and out. Allowing gravity to flow through every muscle. Scanning your body for any place you're holding any tension and just sending breath to that place. Breathing in now, I'd like you to imagine you're breathing in the word relax. And breathing out the word deeper. Just do this for a few moments. Relax, breathing that in. Exhaling out deeper. Continue to do this. I'd like you now to bring your awareness to your heart and imagine there is a beautiful glowing ball of light in your heart. And that ball of light is so strong, so powerful, like a miniature sun in your heart, a tiny, tiny, tiny sun. So much strength, so much power, so much energy, and so filled with love. And this light is so strong that it permeates through every cell of your body, and every muscle group just instantly begins to relax as it soaks up this light. And you feel so safe, like you can just cuddle up in this warmth, like a soft, soft bed with warm, cozy blankets. Maybe floating along in a beautiful sunset. And this light, this ball of light begins to rise up out of your heart, connected still to your heart through the beautiful golden, silver maybe cord. And as it rises up, you just are fixated on this light, so focused on this little ball of light that rises up slowly out of your heart, higher and higher, floating, just drifting upwards. You're just following this light with your awareness, moving up and up and up. Just allowing your conscious mind to begin to drift away. Your subconscious mind emerges, following along. And this light is moving up further and further until it lands in this beautiful, open, vast space of light. Like as if you could be inside a rainbow, connected to the source of all that is, the creator energy. The essence of the divine design that is who you are and that makes up all things. And you have this moment to bask in this light, to receive the most pure form of true unconditional love that you have ever received. Being seen and known as you are, as an immortal being, as an eternal soul. You are seen and known here in this place. And you move following this light as if it's guiding you on a little slide, a very soft, gentle, easy flowing slide that is almost like going through a tunnel of rainbow light. And you slide down, maybe you feel a loving presence accompanying you, a guide here to support you in this experience. And you, as you move through this slide, through this tunnel, through this interdimensional access point, you begin to feel that you have a longing to see some old friends. Those who know you, who have known you for many, many thousands and thousands of years. You've supported, you've learned and grown together, studying together, supporting each other. And oh, how you've missed some of them so much. And as you move along, flowing along, you feel their energy getting closer. And you begin to slow down now, moving very slowly, slowing down more and more. You begin to become aware of lights, different points of light, maybe twinkling lights up ahead of you. And as you move closer to them, they get brighter and brighter. And you land in front of these lights. Maybe there's a pattern of how they're arranged around you. And you just feel the sense of belonging and oneness with among these lights. You notice the colors of the lights. You notice if there's one particular color or light that is approaching you, that is being is feeling drawn to you, and you drawn to this light. And you take a moment to just feel this into the energy of this particular being, is deeply connected with you, who loves you so much and who you love. You deeply connect and greet each other. You notice what are their features? What are their unique qualities and gifts? And if they seem familiar to you. Maybe you even notice they call you by a certain name and you call them by a certain name. You become aware of others around them, and maybe there's a few others who are closer to you. You notice what side of you they're on. And maybe you're aware of other members of your soul group who are further behind you in the secondary group, behind the primary group. And you just notice who seems to be there, who is familiar here in the primary group right near you, and who seems familiar in the secondary group. Just going to take a moment and allow you to focus in on the light, feeling in your heart the energy, allowing yourself to follow your imagination to make it up. Just connecting in. What are you aware of? What do you notice? What is familiar? And who is here? And just giving thanks to all of these members of your group, or however you perceive of these lights. Knowing you've come here just to say hello, and that now you are returning to your earth role for now. You have more work to do here, but you will be back soon enough. And you bid them goodbye for now, knowing that part of you is still staying there with them. You begin to go back down, further down to this realm. And maybe you return here in a different way, like going down a staircase, or just gently maybe sliding back, or just floating down to earth. Like you're floating down in a nice hot air balloon. And as you get further and further down, closer to see the earth and the clouds and the trees and the buildings, rivers, lakes, ocean, closer down to where you are, your neighborhood and community, closer down to your home, wherever you are in this moment, wherever you're at this moment. Down, landing now into your seat, into the room or space you're in. Back into your body, back into this chosen vessel for this incarnation. I'm going to count up from 1 to 5. With each ascending number, just allow yourself to come even more fully back into your body, being excited to be here, knowing this is an adventure. It's an important time and place that you're in. You have many of those soul group that you saw are here with you now. Now you recognize them. Now at some level you understand, even if it's subconsciously, how you can work together in this life, and you'll be able to bring that into your waking reality. So with each ascending number, just come more fully awake, feeling energized, feeling excited for what's to come. 1, feeling returning to your fingers and toes, your etheric body closed. 2, feeling your energies fully aligned, that beautiful light shining in your heart, all your chakras balanced. 3, feeling like you're being wrapped in a nice warm blanket, just bringing the energy closer to you, maybe even touching the top of your head, touching either side of your shoulder, holding your arms, just anchoring back in, feeling your physical body, feeling your legs. 4, stretching out, moving your arms and legs, hands and feet. And then 5, eyes open, fully awake. So welcome back. I am curious how that went for those of you who want to share. This is an experiment, and I'm not sure how that went. Just take a moment to come back in your body. I know that's, an intense experience. That was a sort of short hypnosis, as you may have imagined. And maybe you didn't feel like you picked up on stuff. And if you didn't, that would be very much to be expected because it was so short. But maybe some of you did pick up on some lights. Oh, red and blue colors. That's great. That's cool, Maria. That's good. That's awesome, actually. And so the colors are about like the type of soul group that you're in, and different people are in different, levels of advancement. So like red would be like learning more, blue would be pretty advanced, green relatively advanced, violet, probably nobody saw violet, maybe you did, but that's like ascended, like high spirit guide, almost ascended master energy. More beginner souls might be yellow. It might be, I think I'm getting these right, but there's literally like colors of, and when we say advancement, it's like how many lives you've had, how much you've worked on your stuff. So there are, in the spirit world, as weird as it sounds, it's like there are different levels, kind of like grades in school that we move up through. It doesn't mean one's better or worse than the other. It's just that we move to different stages of learning, I guess, based on each incarnation. The lessons we're here to learn. If we didn't work on that lesson, if it didn't go so well, then we're going to work on it again the next life. So if anyone else wants to share, green and blue, blue and green. We got some advanced souls here. Lime green and gold. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, you guys are. That sounds weird to say advanced, but that's similar. I pick up on similar colors. That's really interesting. I love that. So I love that you all picked up on some colors. That makes me so happy. So that's the, you're seeing that soul group. So keep doing that. Keep trying. I can't offer anything else for you right now in terms of like a meditation on that, because it doesn't exist. I haven't created one. But except for this one, I'll record it. I'll put it up on my podcast, put it up on YouTube. But if you want to experience a full life between life regression, that was like literally like 1/30th of what it would be like in a full life between life regression, feel free to reach out. I'm doing, I think it's like now it's 25% off. It's 3 hours. It's intense. It's a long time. But even if you didn't want to do that full amount, an Akashic Records reading of 45 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes is always an option. So and before I forget, if you're interested in really connecting more deeply with spirit, there's still a few spots left at our the Cheryl, my dear friend Cheryl Horton and I are doing another retreat together the weekend of, I think it's May 19th, 20th, 21st at a beautiful lake house in Maine, in Bridgeton, so near Shawnee Peak, Pleasant Mountain. And we're going to be doing all kinds of spirit connections with angels, archangels, ascended masters, and I'll do a few hypnotherapy meditations. We're going to be doing like gong baths. Cheryl has this beautiful gong. She's going to be bringing. There's a few other things, rock cacao ceremony. We might do a cold plunge in the lake, or a warm plunge, depending on the weather. And it's all vegan food that Cheryl makes for us. Just absolutely amazing menu, like aligned with chakras, aligned with different energies. She does just an incredible job. It's like a food experience. So if you're interested, there's a few shared room spots left and one more day spot if you want to just come for the day. So I'll put the link in here. It's also my website. Dessert by the fire. That's right. So you know that, Kristen. It's going to be delicious. Yellow and purple. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Many blessings to you all. Have a wonderful night. And thanks for being here. Nice to see you.